Hello friends, welcome back to Vue JS tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss about the API calling. Okay, so you already discussed lots of video and you can check my playlist. So here we just going to interact with the server. Currently, we don't have any server side data or any data from outside. So I will call a sample, or you can say the test API data from outside. So here you can see JSON placeholder is a website which actually provide the fake data for a JSON response, or for API calling actually they provide the JSON response. So here they are providing some resources. So I just going to pick this post. Okay, so you can say this is the URL and they are providing hundreds of data here. Okay, so you can see there are lots of data here. I just going to call this URL as an API through the Vue applications. So there are many times when building any applications for the web that you may want to consume and display data for an API. There are several ways to do it, but the popular approach in Vue.js actually we can use the Axios. So why we will use Axios? Axios is a promise-based HTTP client. There are some key features for Axios also. Actually, it's a popular JavaScript library used to making HTTP request in web browser in Node.js environment. Okay, so it simplifies sending asynchronous request to REST endpoints and handling response and performing network related task. Okay, so let's see some key features of Axios. Actually, the main thing is promised based. Why? Axios is actually promised based, and it can make the asynchronous operation easier to manage. Okay, these are good features. I already discussed about the promised in a advanced JavaScript and ECMAScript tutorial. Also, you can check my ECMAScript playlist. I discussed with the example in depth. Okay, and the next important thing is JSON transformations. So whatever will get data from the API, basically will get from the JSON format. In Axios, it actually automatically transforms the request, also the response data to the form of JSON format. Okay, these are interesting points, and you can see the features of Axios also. Okay, another thing, interceptors. It allows you to intercept request and response to for tasks like adding headers or any handling errors. So this is the features of Axios also. Another thing, request cancellations. It's provide mechanism to cancel any ongoing request. And the most important thing is the CSRA protections. Okay, that is the cross-site request forgive protections. It's offer the client-side support to protest against the extreme attacks. Okay, and the interesting things of why it's more popular, actually the main reason is it support Node.js. Okay, now in recent if anything support Node.js, actually it will easy to handle and easy to manage. Actually npm is available, so using the npm we can access or you can install the Axios also. So it works in both browser and the Node.js environment also. Okay, so Axios is commonly used in Vue.js application to fetch data from APIs. Okay, so let's try to install these things. So here you can see this is my application. It's running here. Okay, and I just going to install the applications. I just going to install the Axios. Simply, this is the npm package I already described. So just open the terminal and just install the Axios. So simply using npm I or install, whatever you want, you can write. I is a short form of install. So npm install Axios. Okay, so let's enter, and actually it will install the Axios into your applications. Okay, so Axios is installed. Now just close this, and if you check in the package.json, you will see the Axios 1.9.0 is installed into your applications. Okay, no problem. You can access Axios as globally, or you can use Axios locally. But what will be the best options? Actually, Vue JS is a component based architecture. Some components needs Axios, means API related things, or need to process the data from the APIs, and some are not. So the best practice will be, if you use API related things in any component, only that component you can use. Otherwise, you have an option to add as a global. Okay. So let's create a component, and I will just going to fetch this data from there. Okay. Now this is the app view, this is the parent things. Now here I just going to create, I just going to add one component. So here let's go here and create a component. Suppose my component name is post list. Okay, post list dot view. So I just created this dot view, and this is under the component sections. Okay. Now just use the template, and here simply write post list. Okay, and let's try to call from the app view, and here inside the script sections just import import post list from components post list dot view, and just call this from here. So let's call. Okay. Now just go and let's see whether we are getting this post list or not, means our component is calling properly or not. So we are getting the component. So we are under the post list component. Okay. Now just here I just going to fetch the data. So here is the template part, and another we have a script part. Okay, script, and here just use the scope, so that only this component will affect whatever we write, or only this component will affect. Okay, now I just going to import the reference, and here write reference, and I just going to use on mounted. Okay, so on mounted functions will call. Okay, and this will come from the view, not view config. Actually, it's come from the view. Okay, so view, from the view we are getting the reference and on mounted. Okay, now I just going to import the Axios locally. So just import here Axios. Okay, from the Axios. Okay, so I imported the Axios also. Now I just trying to call the API, this API from here. So what is the error? The reference is defined but never used. Okay, I have not used that things. That's the reason it's actually getting error. So I just use that things. Okay. Now here I just going to use constant, and simply for all post I am declaring a variable post, and it's actually a reference. By default it's blank. Okay. Now here I just going to write the constant, and no, not constant, we don't need right now. So I just going to create on mounted the asynchronous functions. You know, Axios supports the asynchronous functions. So simply write asynchronous, and when you use the asynchronous, there's the async keyword, then we need to use the await. Okay, so here I just using this asynchronous, and we are calling this post from the JSON placeholder.com. Okay, JSON placeholder .typicode.com. Okay, so I added that things. And another things I am going to do, I just going to use the error handling also. So simply we can write here in this way, try, and write these things. Okay, post value and response data. Okay, so whatever we're getting the response, we are getting from the data sections. Okay, now I just added the try, so here we can catch the error. So I just going to write the proper way. Okay, so error, and we can handle error or simply write error dot value. So if we get any error, then we can display the error equal to error dot message, or simply if there is no error message, so something went wrong. Okay, so you can write. Okay, and finally we can declare another things. Actually here, right, some loading value is false. So I will show you why we actually declaring these things. Okay, now these things are good, so reference unmounted all are using, so it should okay. Okay, the problem is loading is not defined. Yes, we are using the loading, but we have not defined. So simply let's define constant and write loading reference. By default it's true, and when we just going to fetch these things, and finally we are just making the false, means when you start calling the API, so by default it's true. Okay, now another things we declare another things, that is the error. So simply you can write or you can declare the error like this. So simply write don't conflict with this error. So I just going to write error in this way, and here simply write another reference. So simply write constant and write error, and by default it's null, or you can write simply blank. Okay, so all the things we added. Now I just going to design the template, means here inside the template let's write div, and here I just write a class that is the post list. Okay, no problem. And here I just write inside the post list, I just going to declare a heading, that is the post list, and I just going to create a table where we can see the data which we actually are getting. So here write a v if a loading. Okay, and v error, that is the error, means if anything we are getting in the error, then we will display, or by default loading is true, so it will display as a loading. Okay, now inside the post I just going to use as a table. So simply I just write table, and inside the table I just going to display if their data, means if not loading. Okay, if not loading and if not error, then we'll only load the table. First conditions, then I can write in this way, that is the t head. So here we have a things like id, title, body. So I just going to display the id and title. So simply write t head. Inside the t head we just write th, and here write id, and another things I just going to write the title. Okay, and let's use this, let's display this data to the t body. So simply write t body, and let's close the t body, and here I just going to use the loop. So for a loop tr, and if there is post, I just going to add the post key, and we are just displaying the id and title. Okay, so let's see whether it's working or not. So just doing uncaught runtime errors, cannot read properties of undefined vcc. So what is the problem? Let's check. So here template open and end, there is a script, sorry, the style should be scope, and here the script should be the setup. Okay, so this is the problem. Now just go. Okay, so here you can see all the records we are getting from this JSON placeholder. So you can see the id1, that is something here you can see. So here you can see something here data, and one thing we added for the finally block, this is the loading value, and just refresh hard, and yes, we can see the loading very fast, and after getting the response, the loading is gone. Okay, so all the things we added, and if there is some errors, means I just changing some things. So here write some double s. Okay, so here you can say request field with the status code 404 that is coming for these things. Okay, okay, so this is the reason, this is the error. So when we get any errors, we are throwing, we are just catching the error and throwing, and it's showing the error code. Okay, and now it's good and it's correct. Now we can see the result. Okay, so this is the basic things of Axios. Actually I just using the get request here, but there is all the things, means like HTTP request, like get, post, put, pass, delete, whatever we have in normal APIs. So we can use all the methods. So I just thinking that we will create a proper CRUD applications, like we will create some applications which will provide some data from the backend. We will have the database, and from that database I will going to fetch the data from the Axios in the view, from inside the view. Okay, so there we'll use the get request, post, will put, delete, all the things. Okay, so hope you can understand what is Axios and how actually it's working. And still, if you have any queries about these Axios, you can comment me in below comment sections. Okay, so thanks for watching this video and have a good day.